Alright, hello YouTube. So today we're going to go over a set 12 PBE game. So this is me just prepping and learning some of the new traits, and I'm doing the commentary and post this time because these were some games that I played offline. So I think this game I end up playing around Varus with blasters because I want to try out blasters with Pyro and that whole type of build, and playing around some forecasts because I've kind of played a lot of the reroll lines, or some of the ones that I can figure out. So I want to try and start learning some forecasts. So I think from a starting point, I think I just took like a blaster emblem, and that's why I played it. I might skip around a little bit in the video to make the runtime a little bit shorter. But basically, as I'm playing set 12, I'm just trying to force towards certain lines that I haven't played already. Right? That's like my thought process. I want to hard force something I haven't played because it's PBE anyways. There's no elo. It doesn't matter if you go 8th. It doesn't matter if you go 1st, right? And it's just for learning purposes, right? So I think at this point I had already tried out most of, if not all, the vertical traits. So that's like all the ones that you can like craft a spat for, or have a spat for, like those ones. So I'm trying to play like more mixed comps and play around like learning, okay, what does this forecast want? What does this forecast need for an item build, right? So part of it is like you'll see in this game, I really don't like the items that I have on my Varus towards the end of the game, but it kind of works out okay, right? So we'll see how it goes. So as you can see here, I have like an Ashe, right? I'm debating if I make it or not. The reason I'm debating if I make it is because I've already played around Eldritch. I already played Ashe carry with Eldritch, so I have a decent idea about Ashe. I think they even buffed Ashe since the last time. I'll follow behind reading the patch notes. It's basically patch notes for PBE every single day, if you're not mistaken. And because of that, I'm also going to start from today onwards. If you see this video, I'm going to start doing like multiple posts per day. So high horsepower, I already played it. It's on my channel, so I don't want to play it. Built diff doesn't seem that interesting right now. Like it doesn't seem like you know, it's just gonna be play the forecasts that don't synergize. I want to try out the synergies, and then I get blaster crest, and I haven't played around blasters, so I'm gonna try blaster crest, and then I'll probably lean towards a forecast at this point, right? I can also take the let me open up the inking as well, just in case I have to draw something. Also, I'm doing my VOD reviews for the next couple ones. I'm going to be doing them live on my Twitch channel. So if you're in my Twitch channel, like right now, you can say hi, and you'll show up in the YouTube video because I'm recording. And if you're not, like, leaning towards, how do I phrase? If you're not, like, if you're on the YouTube, you know, and you want to be featured, a lot of my recordings now I'm doing live on stream, just because I'm trying to stream a little bit more often, get back into the swing of things. Kaide, hello. See, there's a viewer right there. We're just VOD reviewing today. So this is my misconception. So when I see the traits, right, when I see blaster, the way blaster works is that you start with like a damage amp, and then after casting, it says for 3 seconds. Ooh, I just wrote all over it. But basically for 3 seconds, all of this is subject to change, by the way, like the timings and all of that stuff. But for 3 seconds after casting, you basically get like a damage amp, right? So the way that I see it is that, like, in my head, what I'm thinking is, okay, if I'm playing blasters, I probably just want a lot of attack speed, because during those 3 seconds, I want to pump out as much damage as possible. Because if I'm going through this burst, I have a blaster emblem, so I'm playing towards 6 blaster. So if I'm getting 90% bonus damage, like in the burst point, like after casting, I kind of want to make it so that like I have a lot of auto attackers enabled. So if I'm playing towards vertical blasters, I want to probably play Varus. Rumble is like the frontline blaster unit, so I feel like this trait in general synergizes really well. Right now, Ezreal reroll and Hui reroll, both of these units are extremely overtuned in my opinion. They're very, very strong, right? There are 6 blasters already, but I don't have to play Smolder with the emblem, which is pretty nice. So I wanted to play towards Varus because I already felt like Hui and Ezreal, like there's a reroll board for sure with these two, because they're both 3 costs, and you can probably find like a 3 cost frontline that synergizes really well and just play all of them. Right now in general, all the Frost units feel really overtuned. Frost I think gives so much stats for what it is, and I think they're slowly like nerfing it and finding their place. But especially Hui and Ezreal, if you play these units, like I think there's a game that you'll see probably later this week where I just had like an Ezreal 1 because I was playing Portal for most of the game. Like I was playing vertical portal. And like my Ezreal 1 was like doing as much damage, like it carried me until like level 9, right? Like some of these units are really strong right now, but that's how PBE is, right? It's a matter of trying out different things, seeing what's strong, and figuring out exactly which ones maybe it's kind of like setting a baseline, right? So right now it's like I know Ezreal and Hui are strong. Then if I read the patch notes, it says they're nerfed. It's like, okay, so they're going to be slightly weaker, so they're dealing with that. But if I don't see any patch notes about Ezreal and Hui being nerfed, then my baseline for that is like, yeah, they're very strong. And then when the set releases, it'll be like, yeah, they're very strong, right? That's the idea of playing in PBE. It's a matter of learning the different comps, learning the stabilization points, right? There's not going to be like drastic overhauls a lot of the time, right? Like the units aren't going to like change fundamentally. So understanding like, okay, this unit has to be placed here, this unit has to be attacked here. There's like a lot of stuff you can still learn, and that's like the whole idea. So anyways, I'm making Guinsoo. I don't know exactly what Varus items are best. I think I've seen Shojin a lot now. I think that's probably more correct than Guinsoo. We'll see after when we get to Pyro. And we get to the full build. But if you look here, I have Varus, and I'm trying to fit in a Pyro frontline board. I think Nasus is another unit that's like very overtuned. Also, let me know if it's Nasus or Nasus or whatever. Like I don't remember. I switch between all of them because I like, you know, whichever one pops into my head first is the one that I say. So please excuse me if you're a Nasus main and I'm pissing you off. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. But anyways, Pyro. What Pyro does? So Pyro is one of those interesting traits that I really like. So Pyro, basically what it does is it gives attack speed, and then over time, like on kill, it gives like your whole team attack speed for team, right? Basically if you kill 4 units, you get 4 cinders, and then you get 1% attack speed for every 4 cinders that you collect, right? You'll see it when I get it in later. I feel like whenever you're playing towards whenever you have something that scales like that, like scales infinitely or scales late, it really helps to have the trait in early. For example, if I had Pyro in right now, I can already start gaining, even if it's not a lot, I can have the potential to gain a couple cinders to get like that attack speed rolling. So in my head, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, okay, I'll have Pyro in, I have a bunch of attack speed, I have Blaster, which gives me damage amp, I'll get Guinsoo, because with starting attack speed, the Guinsoo stacks will go up, and that's like my idea of the Varus build. And then like probably I want to make like IE, like big like damage items that take that damage a step further, basically on the cast and on the damage dealing, right? So like AD things. I'm pretty sure Varus is an AD unit. I find that a lot of units in this set, it's a little bit confusing for me, because I feel like it's very ambiguous how much AD and AP they need. I think a lot of units by design now have a lot more AP ratio and AD ratios. Like some of them are very obvious, like it like you read it, it's like it scales off HP and AP, like for example Nasus, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, that makes, like, I know what items to put on this dude. But then there's other units where it's like, you know, their ult deals AP, but their auto attacks get powered by AP, and it's like, what? And it's like, so do I want to make like back in previous sets when there was units like that, like a big example was like Akali in set 10, right? Or True Damage Akali in set 10. That was like the musical set. So there was True Damage Akali, and she was a 4 cost. And what happened was she had like an AP ratio that basically made her have a mana refund. I know this is like not relevant, but I'm just giving an example. And what you would do is you'd always build like an AP item. You'd try and get her to like around 40 AP, because then it would cause her to infinitely cast, right? Because every cast that she would do, if she doesn't kill a unit, she would get a mana refund equal like to an AP ratio. So if your AP was at 40, then she would like infinitely cast, because she would instantly refund the mana, cast again, refund the mana, cast again. So she was like an AD unit, where she was like a melee frontline unit, and most of her damage was AD, but you needed to get a certain amount of AP in order to actually unlock her full potential, right? She was like so much better with certain AP items because it did that stat to her. That's a lot of what I'm trying to figure out right now with a lot of these units, right? If you read a lot of their descriptions, they'll have like AD and AP ratios, and it's a matter of like balancing between the two of them, right? Because everything's like a little bit of diminishing returns. So here, I'm just buying out units, just figuring out what I'm doing. A lot of this early game, I'm just trying to play around this Tristana. There is a good Tristana reroll line. I think you can play like a 4 blaster reroll line, which is like Hui, Ezreal, Tristana +1, usually Rumble. So you play Tristana, Hui, Ezreal, Rumble, because Rumble's a frontline unit. Then you play some other Vanguard. A lot of times it's Mordekaiser, because Mordekaiser is a 3 cost. If you're rolling on level 7, you want to be efficient, grab as many 3 costs as possible. But it's pretty alright. Right, it's not that bad. I'll try and point out some other team comps as we go along. I'm kind of just giving, like, you know, much of my info, or I'm kind of info dumping a little bit at the beginning here. Trying to just, like, explain a lot of my thought process. I have this guy in right now. I forget what his name is. Let's call him Smog. Like Smoke, like in Lord of the Rings. Smog is Dragon. So Dragon is Dragon gives you anti-heal. So because I'm playing Shapeshifter and Dragon, it's basically an easy way, this trait, to fit in anti-heal into your team. Right? Anti-heal basically just so that you're reducing the amount of healing that your opponent does. It's really good against melee units. It's really good against frontline units in general. So you get it for free because Shyvana is also Dragon. And I'm going to be playing Nasus later, right? So Nasus synergizes with the Shyvana for Shapeshifter. So that's why I'm playing this guy in. It's just basically like, okay, so for my +1 blaster, let's keep it simple. I'm just going to keep it as like having extra anti-heal, right? Obviously, I can switch that around, right? You can probably play blasters with a different front line, right? Because you can play Shen. Shen is Bastion. Bastion is plus armor. Oh, I should have mentioned it. So Shapeshifter is basically just Bruiser, by the way. Like every set, there's going to be one trait that gives you armor. There's going to be one trait that gives you HP. And there's going to be one trait that does damage reduction. And those are going to be your 3 main tank traits, right? So in this set, the armor trait is Bastion. The reduction trait is Vanguard, and the HP trait is Shapeshifter, right? That's so just to put in perspective, if you like, they have different terms. This is great, early Nasus, so I can easily just start playing him. If I had like an extra Pyro unit, I can start trying to stack some Pyro, which would be nice. Because Nasus, I don't know the exact build of Nasus. Nasus scales a lot off AP. So I feel like you really want to give him like, what's it called? Like, you know those like frontline AP items like Crown Guard and Adaptive Helm? Like, I feel like those will be really good on him because of how much he scales off AP. This unit is very overtuned, by the way. Like, this Nasus unit, like, when people have like AP items on him or like really good tank items on him, this guy just doesn't fucking die. It is insane. Because he also scales a lot off his HP as well. Like, look, he grows and he just doesn't die. Like, I swear, like, you just put like Declaw on this guy and he just never dies. Like, obviously he died here, but that's because, like, you know, things aren't working out for me right now. I'm trying to like figure out my board. I'm trying to econ max until I can, because I want to reroll on, I want to play a level 8 board, right? That's like my thought process this game. Obviously it's a little bit harder when you're playing in PB. A lot of the time, you end up playing just around the reroll lines first, because those are the easiest to figure out. And not only the easiest to figure out, they're just like, it's easier just to like front load your knowledge, right? Like, you know, it's hard to like figure out like all the mid game boards that are strong that will get you, like the item holders that will get you to a level 8 board, because we barely even know what all the units are, right? Like, I don't even know who this is. Like, I don't play League, right? Who's this fine gentleman or girl? I don't know. I'm trying to point to it. I'm not showing the carousel. I know this is Tarek, because Tarek was in set 9 and he looks exactly the same. He just like, it looks like he just put on a different color shirt. But some of these units, like when they transform, like I've never seen this guy in my life. Like, this isn't a League champion, right? I don't even think this is a mob in League, right? Is this some like lore guy? Like the same like the Yumi thing that they talked about? Oh, his name's Nomzi. Okay, now we know his name's Nomzi. I'll stop calling him Smoke. Okay, so Nomzi, right? I don't know who that is. Anyways, this guy is holding on to, well, he's holding on to a Nasus, which is fine. I think this game I end up being contested blasters, which is really whack, because I took a blaster emblem first. It's PBE, right? So in PBE, like, I feel like you should always be trying to like play something different than other people, because you're trying to gauge like relative strength, right? You never, like, I feel like my experience is really middled when people are playing like the same comp as me in PBE. I don't know if I mentioned in other videos. I probably did. But the main problem with that is that it's really hard for me to gauge how strong it is because I'm hitting behind tempo, right? So if I'm hitting behind tempo, it's like, did I get fourth because this comp caps out at a fourth, or did I get fourth because I didn't meet the tempo of the lobby, or like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes like there's comps where it's like when you make it to like level 9, they get way stronger, and then there's some comps where it's like, you know, you just don't make it there and you're just screwed, right? Anyways, I haven't talked about the set mechanic a little bit. Here it's like gain a random and craftable emblem. Some of these are really broken. Like there's one of these that's like gain a spatula, and then there's one of them that's like gain a duplicator, right? Like some of them that they show up, like they just grief the game. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I feel about them yet. At a first glance, I didn't like them that much because there's a lot of them that are very, very good for combat, and I feel like if you're trying to judge a fight and position for a fight, like somebody can just buy one at the last second and then like greatly skew the fight dynamics. So that's why initially, like, these are the charms that you can buy in set 12. Originally, I was like, I don't really think I like this. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I've been playing it in in the PBE. Like, I definitely like it more than encounters. Anyways, I killed some units with my Pyro unit. So these are the cinders that you pick up. For every 4 units that you kill, you get +1 attack speed for your whole team, right? As I'm putting in Ezreal now. I'm still just carrying this Tristana because that's what I had upgraded. I'm going to sell the Tristana, try and play 4 Blaster. Obviously, if I hit a, what's his name, a Smolder. Smolder is like the 5-cost Blaster unit. I'll play Smolder, and then I'll play 3 Dragon. That's like my max cap is what I'm imagining to do. Anyways, I hit this, and I hit a bunch of AP items, right? Like I have tier, this. So I think I'm just going to make Redemption and Archangels for Nasus and just hope for the best, right? I don't think Archangel is particularly good on him, but as you can see, the cast heals HP based on AP. So I don't think he necessarily needs like a Redemption because he's going to heal off. If you build him like proper AP items, he'll heal a lot of the HP anyways. But I might as well just, you know, it's what I have. It is what it is, right? I'll just try and heal more with the Archangels. None of those I can really make like a Varus item if I'm going for like an AD backline unit. So, you know, we'll just try our best. We're Nasus carry now for the time being. I also got the Jeweled Lotus thing equivalent, I think. Like I have increased crit chance for my Prismatic. So I have a Prismatic Combat. This guy's just really strong. Ash 3. This is the Eldritch where you just have the Eldritch Beast ahead of time. He also has that Eldritch emblem, so I think he's 7. No, he's only level 5. He's rerolling still. So he's 5 Eldritch. But he has 3 stars, so it's a little bit whack. This Jace unit's also really busted, by the way. Anyways, so I'm just going through these. I'm looking at the idea. I think I just want to take little buddies here. I have a couple little buddies. It's not like the most efficient, but usually a lot of the times if you have 3 or 4 little buddies, you're pretty good, right? And I'm gonna have 3 or 4, right? I'm gonna have 1, I'm gonna have 2, I'm gonna have 3, and I'm gonna have 4, right? If I'm going with the build path that I was thinking of. So I will have a couple little buddies to power up my 4 costs, so I'm kind of down for it. And both my 4 costs are going to be Pyro units, so it's really good if either of them get the kills. But basically, I'm just rolling here. I'm trying to find a Varus. I don't find a Varus. You know, it is what it is. If I find Varus, I can play 6 Blaster. The only 2 Blasters that I'm missing are, what's it called? Varus and, what's the name of the other dude? Varus and, help me chat. Varus and Smolder. So I need to hit either of these 2, and I'll probably feel fine. But yeah, I'm still carrying this Tristana. I'm still 5 Blaster. This is what I mean by really underpowered. I think like when I scout now, you're gonna see that somebody's playing Varus and somebody's holding on to Blaris. They got on their last emblem, they took like a Blaster crown, I think, and they're just like hard contesting the Blasters, and they're just way ahead of me, which kind of sucks for me. Because like I said, now it's really hard for me to tell how strong this is, like long term. But you know, it's fine. It is what it is. I think when I'm playing, I'm more annoyed than when I'm watching. So sometimes if I'm doing like a live, if I'm on stream, I'll be like, God damn it. Like, you know, I'll throw out a cuss or 2. But, you know, I actually don't care that much. It's usually just like an in-the-moment thing. I have a duplicator as well. So if I can find a Varus or even a Nasus, I'm down to stabilize around either of them. I am gaining a couple cinders, so I'm going to get a little bit of attack speed. Hopefully I get this Varus soon so I can kind of show off like what my build path was kind of. I think it's this guy that went blasters maybe. Like he has a Pyro emblem, and a Incanter emblem, but I think he just plays off the Pyro. I forget who it was. Somebody just starts holding a bunch of Varuses. Also, is it Varus? I'm pretty sure it's called Varus. Anyways, we'll continue. Oh wait, I think my inking isn't working. Oh no, I've been circling and stuff. Oh well. Okay, well now you guys can see the inking. Sad. Okay, so Varus or Nasus on a bench would be really nice here. If not, I'm trying to take a Varus item. I probably want Last Whisper. I have a lot of damage amp. I have a lot of damage. I just need to do like armor shred. So I want to either take glove or bow. That's like my thought process here. Like I said, I'm not sure the exact Varus items. I think I've seen Shojin a lot. A lot of times it's really awkward. I remember even last set, like some of the units, like their descriptions or their how do I phrase it? Their like I was talking about AP and AD ratio, it makes it really confusing. A lot of times when you're dealing with like auto attackers or AD carries, you either have the option of like doing Shojin if you want them to cast a bunch, or Guinsoo if you want them to auto attack a bunch. It's hard to tell like where their damage comes from without like, in my opinion, without playing the unit that much. One example was Aphelios last set. If you guys remember in set 10, you might not remember this. Also, this is just a lesser duplicate for 2 gold. I might as well just take it. I can upgrade somebody. Bam, Shyvana, sure. Right, it's 2 gold for a Shyvana upgrade. It's the same as if Shyvana was in my shop. I'm kind of down. Really, really good charm there. But anyways, what was I going to say? So, with Aphelios, right? Aphelios was faded last set. The earliest build of Aphelios reroll, right outside of PBE, they said that the best item combination was like Shojin IE, right? Shojin IE +1. And everybody was like, Shojin IE, you need a Shojin on Aphelios. You need a Shojin on Aphelios. By the time Aphelios became meta, like with Faded, nobody was building Shojin on Aphelios. It was like, that is such a bad idea. It is definitely Guinsoo on Aphelios, right? I think even later when you watch Snipers, it's like, you never even consider putting, like, Aphelios didn't get changed all that much throughout the set. But you're like, never again is it Shojin on Aphelios, right? So I think that's what I'm seeing with Varus. Anyway, we find Varus finally. So let's see how much damage we do, right? So remember, we're gonna be 6 blaster. 6 blaster. I want to make Last Whisper here, so I'm making IE Guinsoo. I'm rolling for my other blaster. We can put him in. Boom. I lose 1 Pyro, but that's okay. And this was the board that I was trying to make from before. I frontline these units because, like, I don't know. I feel like my frontline's a bit lacking with only the Nasus one. But we just want to upgrade them. I just put these as like cannon fodder. I don't think they're going to be doing too much damage. And I just want to make sure my Varus can stack a little bit more. But let's watch the Varus damage, right? So, boom. He's going to cast, right? And as you can see, he jumps up. He throws the arrow. And now he has damage amp. So you'll see that like he just starts shredding everybody, right? The damage is good. The problem is I definitely don't think it's Guinsoo here, right? So now that we actually can see what he does, I hadn't played Varus before. I barely even saw him on other people's boards. I don't think it's Guinsoo. The reason I don't think it's Guinsoo is because a lot of times Guinsoo is good if their ult scales with attack speed. Anyways, now we're cooking because now we're gaining all the Pyro build, all the Pyro options, right? So I don't know what the item is. I definitely think you make IE on him. And you probably make Last Whisper because especially since he does like the shred, he does like the explosive thing like that, right? Because he does that explosion, he does a lot of like spread damage. But I don't think it's Guinsoo because if you look at his ult is like negative Guinsoo value. Watch, look, he builds up some attack speed, then he doesn't build any attack speed, and he just like AFKs for like 3 or 4 seconds, right? I didn't know that's how it worked. My bad. A lot of times with Guinsoo, you want their ult to also like synergize with the Guinsoo. So there's some ults that like gain attack that go faster, right? If you have like attack speed, right? So this Guinsoo feels like it's like negative value, right? Like probably like even like things that give you like starting attack speed, like a Giant Slayer or a Guard Breaker, right? Like items that just give you attack speed. A red buff, for example, is probably really good. Right, I think all of those would be better on Varus, right, than Guinsoo. But that's my current opinion. But IE Last Whisper is pretty good. I'm pretty sure those synergize really well. 6 blaster, my damage is gonna be massive. So I went from like being in a pretty bad spot and losing a lot of fights. I think you're gonna see that I'm gonna start winning all these fights pretty handedly. Nasus, like I said, broken tank. Even with shitty items like this, like I'm pretty sure Archangels does absolutely nothing, right? Archangels heals, but he gains HP, and I feel like you just give him like, I feel like he heals more with a declaw than with the Archangels. You know what I mean? And a declaw at least gives him some like extra stats. And now because we're Varus carry, as you can see, we're stacking up Pyro by a lot, right? So we keep collecting these cinders. One time I'll hover the Pyro and you'll see that there's a bunch of starting attack speed. I can't really level to 9 here. I kind of just have to roll for one of these units. I need to roll for this upgrade because I'm pretty low in HP. I really just want to see a Varus 2. Varus 1 seems really strong, but I'm not sure how stable I am relative to like the actual good boards, right? I haven't fought this guy that's win streaking. All these people that have a little bit of a better board. Right, a lot of the boards I've played felt pretty fraudulent. This guy's very strong, so we'll see how good I do against this guy. But this is the win streaker, right? It's looking okay, right? But this is what I mean. You see how the ult is so much wasted time? But yeah, I just lose. This guy, the beast, just fucking rails my whole back line. But everybody's very low, right? If I had like a little bit better of a damage item, this was actually a winnable fight. If my items were a little bit better. And we find Varus 2. Let's go. Maybe the guy didn't hold Varus. I remember in this game somebody was holding Varus and Pyro units. Was it just the Pyro guy holding Varus? Oh yeah, he did build Varus. Yeah. See. I remember this guy. I think he had it earlier than me though. But I still hit. So it's fine. So now I feel pretty good. As last time the problem was my front line. So that's why I'm trying to front line some of these blaster units. I'm trying to figure out who I want to sack. Because basically if I can survive even one extra cast for Varus, I can maybe win some fights. So, you know, even though these aren't frontline units, I'm kind of down to just shove somebody in the front line. It was probably put a blaster on a frontline unit if I'm being honest, right? You could probably fit in 4 shapeshifter with this build. Like, imagine if it, like, with a blaster +1, you could probably, like, it's probably dropped to 4 blaster and play, like, Giga frontline, right? Because if I drop 2 of these shit units, right? Like, if I drop, like, right now, Ezreal and, like, Tristana, and I just play 2 extra shapeshifters, isn't my board, like, so much better? The chances are it is, right? Or at least in theory it should be, right? I think that's like the balance of understanding, like how much extra damage does 6 blaster give versus playing around a bit better of a front line. Ezreal 2, I'll take it. I'm just taking frontline items because I need frontline. Charm gives me some frontline, I'm down. But like I said, right, I hit Varus pretty late. I had very low HP. I'm kind of playing with very low HP here. I don't think it's as I think the unit is strong. I think Guinsoo is like a negative item on him. I don't think it does that much. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Guinsoo is all the damage, but I doubt it. Like I feel like anything else would have been really good. Like even like a red buff probably. Something that gives me starting attack speed or like even a Shojin to make my cast go off a lot more because my cast does so much damage. But I was just imagining like with the blasters, the auto attacks, like shredding. See, like these auto attacks shred. This is why I wanted to have the Guinsoo for attack speed. But like in most fights, it's only stacking up to like less than 20. Right? I don't even think I've seen 20 on the Guinsoo, right? Which is actually very low, right? Like you can actually get like a lot more value off of something like a red buff because the starting AS from a red buff is like almost as much, right? I think Guinsoo is a bit different. Like Guinsoo gives a little bit more, obviously, but like, you know, with Pyro and like a bow item, it's probably just better to like just have raw damage or Shojin for cast. Yeah. This guy's also pretty useless. I'm just putting him in for anti-heal. I feel like it's a good synergy, but I don't think it's necessarily that great. Because I don't think he's like pumping up anything really. Oh, I think this I get absolutely railed here. I'm pretty sure I just lose instantly because I literally just get wrapped and somebody just comes and kills this guy. Yeah, my front line is not good enough. He has the Eldritch Beast hero augment as well thing. Not hero augment, but it's like the augment that makes the beast really strong. So yeah, I just lose out here. That's fine. It's like a fourth, right? It's a fourth, and I hit pretty late. I feel like there's a lot of Giga augments, right? Like this Eldritch augment, I feel like is so broken because even when I was in a bad spot playing Eldritch, it was just so good. And some of the other things are just like really, really, really like whack. So you know, it is what it is. It's a fourth. I wonder if do I show the boards? No, I don't show the boards. Oh, I quit out before the boards. Sad. Anyways, hopefully this was interesting. Hopefully it was fun, and hopefully you learned a little bit. So those are my thoughts on Varus. I think it's strong 4-cost carry. I think it could be very playable. I think he has really, really good damage as well as infinite scaling with the Pyro for attack speed. I think it's just like I said, I noted my mistakes. I think if you don't have a blaster +1 though, his damage is going to be lower, but you can make a much better front line, right? Like, because you can easily play something like 4 blaster, 4 shapeshifter, blah. You can play 4 blaster, 4 shapeshifter, I think pretty easily, because with the extra spots of the blaster, you can just drop 2 of them and play 2 extra shapeshifters. And you probably don't play dragon until later in the game. You probably just play Smolder on level 9 and then maybe play like 6 blaster if you need more damage. Because you play it without an emblem, but I think it's really hard to fit in without an emblem because you just lack so much front line, like you saw in this game. Even with an emblem here, I lacked a lot of front line. So yeah, hopefully that was enjoyable. Hopefully have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you next time for some more set 12 PBE.